The Anthony Joshua vs. Jake Paul press conference had been full of talk until tensions suddenly exploded. What began as verbal trash talk quickly turned physical, throwing the entire event into chaos. Security rushed in as tempers flared, and the press conference ended in complete disorder, showing that this fight has already crossed a serious line.
No will definitely come and join us.
There's some pushing
now
going on.
Security guards pushing each other as well up there. That we don't want to see. There's a couple of
we don't want to see a brawl there.
We don't want to see. Hey.
Anthony Joshua makes it clear that he is not here to entertain noise or play into the spectacle. Through his words and body language, shows this fight is about real competition and proving dominance inside the ring. He stresses that he will not hold back and that this is not an exhibition or friendly crossover. Joshua presents this bout as a serious test where experience, discipline, and power matter more than hype. His tone shows a fighter who feels this matchup is being underestimated and wants to remind everyone why he operates on a higher level.
Be honest, I'm gonna break his face. I'm gonna break his body up. I'm gonna stomp all over him. That's my mentality, right? That's a fighter's mentality. And I know what's in my heart. I know what's in my mind. And I'm here to compete. I'm here to prove myself that I'm the better fighter. So I'm looking forward to
The mood in the room changes when Anthony Joshua draws a firm line on respect. The tension rises as the confidence filling the room suddenly fades under his warning. Joshua makes it clear that he will not accept disrespect from Jake Paul and that this fight will not be taken lightly. He directly compares the situation to the Francis Ngannou fight, sending a clear message that the outcome will be just as ruthless. His words are calm, controlled, and direct, leaving no confusion about what awaits on fight night.
in boxing on my back. I've done it with the Ngannou fight, and I'm going to do it again. I understand the expectation. I don't carry it because the expectation I have of myself is already enough, but I understand it, I acknowledge it, and I respect it. But that's about it as far as outside.
Eddie Hearn steps in to address the chaos surrounding both the press conference and the fight. He explains that Jake Paul fully understands the punishment he could face once the fight begins. According to Hearn, the situation has gone too far to turn back. Huge money has already been spent promoting this event, and walking away is no longer an option. Hearn suggests that Jake must now face the reality of his decision and accept the consequences of stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua.
No, I mean, look, they've spent.
Ludicrous it is that they're fighting.
Netflix have spent a lot of money. MVP have spent a lot of money, and Jake would look like a plonker if he pulled out the fight now after giving it the big one, and he knows that. And this fight's happening, you know, and that they, you know, they think. Look, one thing I'll say is this: if there was ever a good time to fight Anthony Joshua, it's probably now. Right? Coming out of what will be 14 months of inactivity. By the way, he's also been in training camp for 4 weeks or 5 weeks at a time.
Despite all the warnings, Jake Paul's ego remains strong at the press conference. He continues to claim that he is the better boxer in real terms and argues that Joshua's advantage comes only from professional records. Jake presents himself as a misunderstood fighter who believes his skills are better than what the public sees. This confidence, or stubbornness depending on how you view it, does not fade. Instead, it grows louder as Jake places himself above Joshua rather than beneath him. His mindset shows that he does not see himself as an underdog, despite the clear gap in experience.
How has the approach in terms of strategy and preparation been for this fight? Because most of your fights, since you don't have as much of experience as your opponents, you've made up with youth and size. For this one, you know, you're fighting somebody that's prime, somebody that's bigger than you. So how has that change been?
Yeah, on paper, the cards are stacked against me. But really, in terms of boxing, I'm a better boxer than AJ, which is like hilarious to state, but he's got 2 left feet. He's stiff. If I was his coach, I'd put him in a dance class first before trying to box. And really just bringing in the right sparring partners to help me prepare so that I can get looks that are similar to him, and that's really just been the strategy.
Insight from Alexander Usyk's camp reveals important changes happening behind the scenes for Anthony Joshua. The camp manager explains that after the Usyk fight, they advised Joshua to adjust his approach and evolve as a fighter. Joshua accepted this and chose to work with their team. The focus is on refining his style, improving movement, and sharpening ring intelligence. The goal is not to rebuild Joshua, but to upgrade what he already has. Camp believes this version of Joshua will look noticeably different when he faces Jake Paul.
Talk about
you need AJ, you need something change, you know. And okay, come and train in camp and see what we do. And Jay, come. Now we're here in supper.
Weight management becomes another major talking point as Joshua prepares for this fight. For the first time, he has to manage his weight in a way he never has before. Despite this challenge, people close to the camp say he looks strong, calm, and powerful after making weight. Wade points out that Joshua still carries fight-ending power, something Jake Paul will struggle to deal with. The weight adjustment has not weakened Joshua but instead appears to have sharpened him. Footage from training supports this, showing that his punches still carry serious force. Observers note that even with changes in conditioning, Joshua's power remains dangerous. His team believes the weight shift has improved his movement without sacrificing strength, making him an even tougher opponent for Jake Paul.
Miscalculation from Jake's team. I think that their best chance was having AJ be a bit more stagnant and not being able to move as fluidly and as well, so that Jake could be a bit faster, so that he could be a bit more elusive, and that AJ would have a harder time tracking him. Not to say that, you know, at a certain point he wouldn't get him, but that would be the idea. The bigger, way slower AJ at like 260 or whatever, 255 plus. What Jake is saying though doesn't make any sense. To me, he's like, oh, I think it was a miscalculation for them to agree, I assume is what he means, for AJ to get to 245 so that he's lighter, all that. That's a I think it was a miscalculation. That's a disadvantage to AJ's power somehow. AJ's not stripping away muscle to get to 245. He's just not as bulky, heavy as he normally would be. He has fought at this weight before in the Usyk fights, as Jake pointed out, and this is not something that took away from AJ's power. The reason he didn't beat Usyk wasn't because he didn't have power. Usyk was just better. Point blank period, he's the best in the world. Jake is not Usyk. Jake can take bits and pieces of Alexander Usyk, but he's not that. And AJ's power will still be devastating at 245, just like it would be at 255 or 260. Him taking that 10 pounds away and by the way, it wasn't like he did a cut to try to make the weight. He is that weight right now. A lighter version, a more speedy, compact version of AJ, he's still going to hit like a Mack truck. He didn't just lose all that muscle and all that ability to turn punches over. That's still going to be there. And if Jake thinks that AJ needs to be 260 for AJ to knock him out, that's also fucking crazy. Now, Jake says something even more insane to me than the fact that, oh, AJ made a miscalculation getting to 245. He says that his skills are better than AJ. And I just don't know where the evidence of that is. Like, I understand Jake is confident in himself, but point to me a fight where Jake showed better skill. I don't see it. And again, Jake is always telling us how...
Jordy explains why this fight presents a unique danger for Jake Paul. He points out that Jake had been preparing for a much smaller opponent like Gervonta Davis for a long time. Switching focus to Anthony Joshua just weeks before the fight forces a complete change in strategy. Joshua is bigger, heavier, and stronger, which affects every part of preparation. Footwork, timing, defense, and conditioning all need adjustment. The size difference is not just about harder punches, but also about handling pressure and physical control. Joshua's size could limit Jake's movement and reduce his attacking options. Changing the game plan so late raises serious concerns about readiness.
Literally millions of people wrong just to get to that level, just to show that bravery. Fair fucks to Jake Paul. Now let's get real. Now it's time to get really serious, because this is worrying, this. I think the way that he has gone about this fight is just wrong. The fact that he was training for Tank Davis matter of weeks beforehand, who's a literal midget. Sorry, little person. I don't want to. And then you go from that to fighting one of the biggest, strongest, hard-hitting heavyweights in world boxing. It smacks of, I am not prepared for this, and I'm just fucking rolling the dice. I admire it, the courage, but like, if you're gonna do this, you have to take it as seriously as a man like Anthony Joshua deserves to be taken. And a couple of weeks of sparring, you know, a few heavyweights, that ain't serious enough for me. I've interviewed Tom Aspinall. He exclusively trains with heavyweights because he's in the heavyweight division year round. And he says heavyweight fighting, it's a different sport almost, because the consequences of making a mistake are so much more diabolical that you have to train differently. And a quick turnaround like like this and being like, yeah, fuck it, I'll take AJ. If I was his advisors, I'd be like, look, if you insist on fucking doing this nonsense, because this is crazy, we're gonna take a good 6 to 12 months solid training with heavyweights. We're gonna fucking make sure that you are strong. You can't pivot from fighting a 135 pounder to a 245 pounder. My God, to 110 pound difference or something. You can't just pivot quickly like that. This needs to be systematic. We need to prepare. And the people around him, by just allowing him to just take this so quickly, obviously Jake Paul brings in a lot of money for everyone who's associated with him. I just can't think they're giving him good advice. And unfortunately, you know, when you're in the situation where you're the money man, backslap as an arse kick.
Simon Jordan delivers a harsh critique of Jake Paul's behavior before the fight. He compares Jake to Wile Coyote, saying he constantly overestimates himself while chasing situations beyond his control. Jordan believes Jake will not be able to escape the consequences this time. He warns that confidence without substance can be dangerous. According to Jordan, Anthony Joshua represents a reality check that hype cannot protect Jake from once the fight starts. He adds that Jake's past